WeTV just dropped a new series called This Is Polly. It airs on Friday nights right after the new episodes of Love After Lockup. And one of the Polly families that is featured in this series is the Yahweh family. So the man in the family, his name is Yahweh Poetic, and he has 4 different women, and he's looking to expand. And all these women call themselves Yahweh Jasmine. They're all named after him. Their first name is Yahweh, and then their second name, I guess, is the name they had coming into the relationship. I'm not gonna lie, the Yahweh family made being in a poly family intriguing. They're all very attractive. It seems like they're all doing very well financially. Apparently, they all put their money together in one big pot and then dispersed it evenly. So everyone's doing the same financially. And apparently, according to one of the mothers of Yahweh's current girlfriends, she spoke out and she says it's not as wholesome and happy as they're leading it on to be. I don't know which girlfriend's mother is speaking out. The mother is pictured on the left, and here are the girlfriends on the right. I'm assuming it's probably one of the bottom girls. I'm assuming it's probably the girl in the bottom right-hand corner, but I'm not 100% sure. But this is what she had to say. So WeTV, on their Facebook page, they shared a post talking about This Is Polly, sharing pictures and screenshots from the last episode. And this is what the mother had to say, one of the girlfriends. She said, "Yahweh, this is so disgraceful and so fake. That's my daughter in there. I know the truth. She called me on her birthday and she told me of the abuse and what goes on there. I had her coming home and she backpedaled. She took my 2 grandchildren that were born in St. Louis down there. She is so brainwashed. She has not let either father of those children talk to them. We need to expose the truth. He is a predator and he gaslights and brainwashes the women. Nowadays, that's my daughter Krystal. I think she's the kingpin and running the show down there." Okay, Krystal. So let's figure out which one Krystal is. Okay, yeah, I was right. Krystal is the one in the very back on the right-hand corner. So it goes on to say, "Nowadays, my daughter Krystal thinks she's the kingpin and running the show down there." And that's funny to me because I remember her calling me in December and she was upset because he was doing the same thing but with other women to make her jealous, and look what she's doing. It's thoroughly disgusting that she's turning around and doing it to others. She was raised better than this. She has daddy issues, and when she was growing up, her stepmom died and her half-sister became a real problem from her because her dad gave the sister everything and didn't do anything for Krystal. And then she went through a series of abusive relationships. One of the beatings was pretty bad. I got a hold of her dad and he said, "Well, I'm pretty sure she was running her mouth and she deserved it." My reply is that you would say that because he abused me. That's for sure. I'm the only one that has ever stood up for her. And these abusive relationships and went after the men, her dad never did anything. This case will be no different. She's about to get hit with the biggest court case of her life. I'm filing for grandparents' rights and working on getting those 2 kids out of there. London is my granddaughter and she'll be 12 in July, and they're now starting to promote her. I'm in fear for what they'll do to her. I'm sick. I told him a couple years ago that I'm coming for you, and that's a promise, not a threat. Piece of shit. London was raised in a very wholesome life on a ranch. She was a barrel racer, she loved her horses, and my daughter took her away from all that and never replaced it. He keeps my daughter pregnant. She had 3 babies in 3 years. He's abusive and he keeps the girls pitted against each other, and he has them all working. He takes all their money. He portrays the image that there is all this money and stuff. It's a joke. Watch out, mommy, it's coming. Krystal, you better check yourself. Running your mouth like that looks disgusting, disrespectful to other people. Remember that phone call, the one you called and told me everything going on down there and how they're making you cry and doing that in your face while they blocked you in a parking lot? This is about to get really stupid. So that is a lot to unpack there. She's calling out Yahweh. She claims that he always keeps her pregnant, and she's calling him out, saying that's not all the luxury that they're portraying it to be. Now let's do a quick recap on the Yahwehs in the last episode. So we're introduced to the Yahweh family, and they said that they're always open to bringing more women into the bunch. I think they have I can't remember how many kids, but they got a gang of kids. And he said that he's looking to have even more kids. All his kids look just like him. They have his eyes. And he said that the best part about being in a poly relationship is the sex. And what I find interesting about this family is not only are they being intimate with Yahweh, but the women are being intimate with each other, especially one girl. One girl, she gets her nails done, but she specifically keeps 4 out of 5 of her nails short so she can go DJ or use one of the girls as a bowling ball and not hurt them. And then we have Yahweh Krystal, who we just heard from her mother. She's having beef with Yahweh Maddie, the girl here on the far right, because I guess they're the newest women in the family, and I guess Yahweh Poetic isn't doing a great job balancing his time. I guess they're saying that he spends most of his days in Yahweh Krystal's bedroom, well, most of his nights, and they feel like he's not being fair. There's not a set schedule, and they feel like he's just focusing too much on certain women, and other women are feeling left out. And what I don't like about Yahweh Poetic is when they bring this up to him, he kind of just completely dismisses their feelings. I understand going into this, you have to not be jealous, and that's something that you got to be willing to put aside. And if you can't do that, then you don't need to be in a poly relationship, straight up. And I know at first those feelings are going to be there, and that's what he kept telling these women. But also, they're not just being straight up jealous. They're just saying, hey, I want to feel loved too, just as much loved as this girl. And I know it shouldn't be where if you're not getting as much attention then you automatically feel less than, but he's going to do a better job making all his wives feel loved and not left out. And when it comes to them bringing up their concerns, he's like, oh no, you knew what it was coming into this. And it's okay, you got to kind of meet them halfway and instead of completely dismissing them. And I've noticed that several times in this last episode, that anytime they would bring up something that was bothering them, it's he doesn't really want to try to do no conflict resolution. He just completely dismisses how they feel, and it's hey, this is what you get being in a relationship like this. They said that they have meetings as much as possible. They try to do it weekly so they can address any concerns, but like I said, when it seemed like they were bringing up their concerns, he was just kind of trying to move on as quickly as possible. And then I understand why some of the women would feel like that, because all you got to do is watch Sister Wives with Cody Brown, the people who kind of started Poly TV, and see what happened with them. He started focusing too much on Robin. The next thing you know, he fell head over heels in love with Robin and pretty much just didn't give a damn about how the rest of his other wives felt. And then whenever they would bring it up, he would just kind of dismiss their feelings or gaslight them into feeling crazy for feeling that way. But that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, we are going to see him try to go out and meet other women, and we're going to see how they juggle life on a day-to-day basis with 4 different women. But let me know what you guys thought about this season premiere with the Yahweh family, and what do you guys think about what Yahweh Krystal's mother had to say? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.